Yahoo News, 16th of November 2022, Xi Jinping, the President of China, charges Trudeau with leaking conversational details to the media. China was embarrassed that the United States called out its unethical behavior since it is not accustomed to dealing with democratic institutions and press freedom. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has come under fire from Chinese President Xi Jinping for allegedly misbehaving by leaking details of a chat between the two leaders to the media. The allegations were made as the two leaders ran into each other in a public area in Bali, Indonesia, where they both attended the G20 conference. Through an interpreter, Xi informed Trudeau that it wasn't right that what we discussed had been leaked to the media. That wasn't how the conversation was carried out. If you are sincere, Xi said. The Chinese leader was interrupted by Trudeau, who urged cooperation despite their differences. Trudeau began, but Xi cut him off. We will continue to engage in free, candid, and open dialogue because it is what we believe in. We'll keep trying to cooperate constructively, but there will be certain things we can't agree on, so we'll have to. Let's first establish the circumstances, Xi replied, extending his hand to Trudeau. The two then shook and walked apart. On Tuesday, Trudeau and Xi had a brief face-to-face conversation outside of the G20 conference in Bali. After the informal meeting, the Prime Minister's office published a readout of the conversation detailing the subjects and participants. In the readout, it is stated that during the brief conversation between the two leaders, who have been at odds over trade and the detention and arrest of two Canadians as part of China's hostage diplomacy, Trudeau voiced his concerns regarding media reports that China had secretly funded 11 candidates in the 2019 federal election. The two were conversing casually in a crowded room and a photo commemorating the encounter that the Prime Minister's office issued. I won't be afraid to be honest with Canadians, Trudeau. Unlike Xi's meetings with other heads of state, such as French President Emmanuel Macron, Argentinian President Alberto Angel Fernandez, and American President Joe Biden, Trudeau and Xi did not hold a formal bilateral meeting. According to the PMO, the two leaders also spoke about the impending COP15 summit in Montreal, North Korea's ongoing aggression against South Korea, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The readout mentions that the two leaders emphasized the need for continuous communication without saying how Xi responded to any of these concerns. In response to the incident, Trudeau said during his final press conference that his government believes its constituents deserve to know about his job on their behalf. Trudeau said he wouldn't hesitate to be honest with Canadians even when discussing weighty or delicate topics. People need to recognize that Canadians will always strike the correct balance between being upfront about differences and the problems we raised and being able to work constructively simultaneously. However, Heather McPherson, an NDP's Foreign Affairs Committee member, asserted that Trudeau had produced a diplomatic incident and suggested that Canada diversify its trade and diplomatic links to exclude Communist China. She stated in a media release that since China is not a dependable trading partner, we must forge strong ties with other nations in the area. In addition, as part of Operation Unifier, which has been operating since 2015, Trudeau announced during his final press conference that the mission to train Ukrainian soldiers in Great Britain would be extended through the end of 2023. A few days prior, Canada committed an additional $500 million to help Ukraine's military.